right, let's look at solving some of our rational expressions. So this is one way that we are going to be able to solve our rational expressions. What I would consider easier way. So our steps, you're going to see that our rational expressions look pretty simple. They're a bunch of binomials or just numbers. So when you see ones that look like this is the method that you're going to use. And basically we're going to cross multiply. So we remember this method. We're going to cross multiply those two and multiply those two. So we're going to say 4 times x minus 6 equals 7 times x, which is just 7x. Okay? And then we need to solve for x. So we need to isolate the variable. That means getting it on one side by itself. Excuse me. So remember, when we have parentheses and a number or a variable on the outside, we need to distribute. So 4 times x minus, 4 times negative 6 is negative 24, and that equals 7x. We need to get x on one side by itself. I like to keep the bigger one on one side, so let's go ahead and move this 4x over. It's positive 4x, so I'm going to subtract it from both sides. Minus 24 equals 3x. X is still not by itself. It's being multiplied, so I need to divide by 3. And negative 24 divided by 3 is negative 8 equals x. Okay, what's this third last step? You need to make sure you check your answer. So we've got negative 8, but when I need to plug it back in and see if these two equal each other. And why do I need to do that? Because I could get a number down here, and when I plug it back in, it doesn't work. And then that means that there is no solution to solving this, okay? So 7 over negative 8 minus 6 equals 4 over negative 8. When I do this math down here, that's 7 over negative 14 equals 4 over negative 8. And when I reduce those fractions, it's negative 1/2, negative 1/2. They equal each other. So this is our solution. Okay, so for these other ones, you just do the same thing. Again, look and see these problems. They're relatively easy in terms of that they're just binomials. There's no trinomials in here. So this would be 7 times x minus 8 equals 3 times 2x plus 1. And when we solve and isolate x equals 59. And I'm not going to do the math here, but you do need to check it. And when we check it, this is the answer. It works out. Okay. The last one I want to show you is this one right here, because it's only slightly more difficult. So we're going to do the same thing, cross multiply. So we got x times x plus 5 equals 3 times x plus 8. And whenever I distribute these, now I have an x on the outside. I'm going to do it the same way as my 4, but now it's a variable. So x times x, remember, is x squared. X times positive 5 is plus 5x. Equals 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 8 is 24. All right, so in this case, in this instance, we have a square. So remember, when we have a variable squared, then that's probably going to hint to us that we're going to have to factor to find the solutions. So let's get everything on one side. So I'm going to move this 3x over and move this 24 over. So then we have x squared plus 2x minus 24 equals 0. And then I need to factor this. And remember, I did give you guys a cheat for the calculator to factor it easy. Remember, whenever I factored this, it gave me -6 and +4. So my factors are x plus 6, x minus 4. And then I need to set those equal to 0. X plus 6 equals 0. And solve for x. X minus 4 equals 0 and solve for x. So -6, -6. So x equals -6 plus 4 on both sides. X equals +4. So we've got x equals -6 and +4. Here's another instance where we need to go ahead and make sure that we plug it back in, because if neither of these could be a solution, or only one of them could be. If you do the math, then they both are your solution. So the thing to remember here is we're just cross multiplying and solving for x. When I get an x squared, put everything on one side and factor it. Let me know if you have any questions solving your rational expressions.